Guys, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. Um, Thank you so much for joining me here live on today. I hope some people got a little fresh air, just a little. If you have a stay at home order, please follow. But if you're able to escape to get a little fresh air today, then good. I know it's been crazy. This is just like unreal. Like you're watching a movie that will never end. Um, but the cliche thing that everybody's saying is we're all in it together. So tonight's topic that we're going to be talking about um, is how to get your spouse's support when starting a business. And I love this topic because ironically, my spouse is the one who really pushed me into the business. So I didn't have to do too much persuading. But as we started going along, I had to then kind of convince on some things, right? So before we get too deep, I want you guys to invite and share into your, especially, this is a time where it is time. If you've been thinking about that idea of starting a business, it is time to get up off the ground and running. So I am going to get on my other device as well and share it out to the folks. Hey, Christina. Um, okay, here we go. Let's start my watch group here. All right, perfect. So I got both my devices going here. All right. So, again, so the topic, if you don't know who I am, my name is Melissa Jakes, CEO and founder of Rescue Event Planning, also known as Olivia Popa Live Events. But on Melissa Jakes' page, I am a wife, I am a mother, I am a business owner. And so the term kind of combines together called mompreneur. And so I love to help entrepreneurs, influencers, and small businesses really grow their business through doing live events. But we can't do live events right now. So I've been helping people do virtual events where you are just switching your live to virtual. There's no problem. Some people may not be as tech savvy. So we're definitely helping clients go through those process. And we'll definitely be talking about that a little bit later, right? So tonight we're talking about how to get your spouse's support when starting your business, right? So there's three different things we're going to talk about in that: making sure your partner knows your vision, creating agreements about boundaries and time, and including your partner into your vision, into the business somehow, right? So starting off in the beginning, it's very scary to one, start a business. Like this idea you had it in your notebook if you're a person who journals like me, or sticky notes, however. And now it's like, I have this crazy idea, I need to take it to my partner. And hopefully that your partner, one, believes in you and believes in your dream and the vision you have, but also supports you into it, right? So my journey is just a little bit different. It was a flip. I didn't want to start the business because I always said, if I didn't like the color scheme, I was going to tell the bride, that's an ugly color scheme. And I didn't want to be that person. And they were like, what did I hire you for? So that was always like, for some odd reason, that was always like one of my bigger fears of like telling a bride, ew, that's ugly. But I got over that real quick. And my husband was like, come on, really? That can't be your only reason why you don't want to start your event planning business. So, he said, just do it. So one day I sat down and I just paid for my LLC, and I said, well, I at least got a year before I have to, pay my LLC taxes on it to really get it together. And so he, in a sense, kind of pushed me. Now, the change of that is like, Melissa, that's great. Yes. But now you have to keep your spouse supporting you in it. And that is a different story when it came for me. It's great to have a vision and push somebody and say, yeah, go do it. But when the nitty gritty and you're staying up to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and your weekends, because a lot of events happen on the weekends, start getting taken up, and you're having less partner time, that's where a little trouble in your marriage or your relationship can happen, right? So the first thing is make sure your partner knows the vision. Not like, hey, babe, I want to start a bakery. No, like really understand the vision. Sharing the ideas, the products, the service with fully explaining how it one impacts the community, how it affects your personal lives. That's a really big thing. How will this impact your personal lives? Because it's great to say, yeah, go ahead and start that food truck. That's great. But what does that mean for our personal lives? How will that change your day to day? Really explain that. And imagine your spouse randomly comes up with an idea and initiating an online business and you have so many questions and you have no answers. You need to make sure you're almost pitching this to your spouse, to your partner, right? So you got to pitch it right because this does impact their lives and your family. And if you have older children too, also bring them in the conversation because this does impact family life. Um, so the other thing with that is making sure you're fully communicating because it can be um, sometimes we don't communicate enough, but you need to over communicate and really do it. I'm a visual person, right? So I would write things down like, okay, this is what rescue is going to do. This is what does it mean? This is what it means for time, what I need for supplies. Some things, when you're starting a business, there are some financial commitments that comes out of pocket. And definitely, please do not um, get anything for the business without talking to your spouse. Do not sit here and purchase products, coaches, without discussing it with your spouse because that's a big mistake. If you're like, you paid how much? And because just because it's your business doesn't mean that it's not your money together, right? So make sure you over communicate over everything. Just though they financially may have not put in money into the business, act like they're 50-50 partner. So you need to talk to your partner first before you can make a deal. Okay. So definitely make sure your partner knows the vision from top to bottom. The second thing is create agreements about time boundaries. And I sucked at this in the beginning big time. So make sure you do way better than me. I'm better, totally better now. Google Calendar has saved everything. So often it is a lack of communication, which creates a clash between personal life and business, right? So it's important when starting a business that your spouse agrees upon the time boundaries. Not only that, but both you and your spouse must be content with the agreement. So you may agree on a standard schedule, 5 days a week, 9 to 5, or you both may agree that some things may work on weekends as well. Whatever the schedule it is, you must stick to it big time and don't deviate. And if it does deviate, you do need to consult about the deviation, right? And when you're with your family, that means no computers, no phones, no devices, like really just connecting. Don't sit here and try to take a work call in the middle of family business. Now, the only time I really did this when we're on the beach is it was a really big contract. And like, that's the only time they could meet. The only time they can meet. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that was like one of the only big sacrifices I did, literally on the beach, making a phone call. But that's because it was a really, 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 really big deal. But I consulted with my husband before. So listen, don't kill me. But this call happens at this time. So make sure, again, that's overly communicating for that, right? So making time boundaries. A good way to do this is Google Calendar. Utilizing your Google Calendar. I'm a techie person. If you're a person that has to put on the planner, fine. But I know my husband forgets a lot. So I put it on the Google Calendar and he's like, that was on the calendar. Yes, it was. It will show up and pop up and give you an alert. So make sure you're doing that because you can move easily on the calendar versus trying to do something on paper. So the third thing is including your partner somehow. So somehow making them feel involved, not so separate, like I'm starting to hate this business. I love my wife or I love my husband, but I'm hating this business part of it, right? So bring them into it as much as they want to be and be more intentional, just not like, well, come help me, then we can spend time together. More of something that they would appreciate to be involved in. Um, and so a good way to doing it is that my husband and I my husband is helping me with is we'll soon my rescue side of the business will soon be starting um, rescue rentals. And so I've been lacking on a little bit of this. And he's like, remember, we're supposed to be taking pictures of all your stock and stuff. So come on, I'll help you with it. I'll get the inventory together. So he wants to be involved. Got to take advantage of that. So those are different ideas that you can do with your partner of getting involved and making them feel happy about it. It does take time, you guys, especially your first year. One, your first year in business is hard. Your first 5 years in business is definitely very hard. And after 5 years, they say, you kind of know what you're doing, you're getting along. Not saying it gets easier. You just kind of know how to handle the bumps as it happens, right? So definitely try to get them involved. And in the beginning, it was rough. He loved the idea of me doing my business, but there's times where I just was not balancing my time well. And so you need to make sure you balance your time well. And at the time, we had our daughter. And so the fear of even getting pregnant, and like, how would I be pregnant, have a daughter, a husband, a business, and then I'm about to bring a whole new person into this equation. How's this even going to work? And I freaked out a lot. But he has now understand the business and one and believes in me and knows the capability that I have to make sure I'm able to still run the business with having two children and a husband. So um, it's really about the support and making sure your spouse is happy. And once they understand the business and can see the potential and the benefit, definitely able to take two family vacations from the business. And I think the first one he was like, "Oh yeah, I see all the benefits. Okay, I'm down for rescue." He was definitely like, "Okay, I'm seeing it," and then being able to just to see the different things we're able to do financially in the family or opportunities and exposure. Speaking for Facebook, like that would have never happened. So, seeing all those different perspectives, and of course, as visionaries as we are and creators, we can see long term. Most people who aren't in this entrepreneur field, if your spouse is like my spouse is like, I have to see it right in front of me to see exactly the full plan. They can't see the foresight for it. So when then they start reaping the benefits, of course they're down for it, right? So you just need to make sure that you really explained the vision coming through, over communicate, spend time when time is needed, and definitely make sure you stay away from special dates. It always seems every year that I always get a wedding around our anniversary date. And so our agreeing is that it's totally fine if I do a wedding on our an anniversary weekend because it is Memorial Day weekend. It's a big weekend, right? But we always make sure we celebrate either the week before or the week after. And how I make sure I really make up for it, I make sure we take a trip out of town so that it's really, really special and there's no way we can get pulled into anything. Right. So, you guys, if you're starting a business, one, congratulations. I am so proud of you. Yay. You're doing it. You're doing it. And and definitely just encourage your spouse, your partner, and it's going to be tough, but it's going to be okay. It's definitely going to be okay. And if you're needing help and guidance on building your business, and building your brand and how to do that and further along, definitely send us a message. Definitely visit melissajakes.com, and you could definitely book consultations with us so we're able to talk to you through that in different levels. And we've worked with different clients as well, so from nonprofits to small businesses to people doing book tours, to people doing now book tours virtually because COVID-19. But that's okay. And we're still able to benefit from it. The biggest thing is having live events or virtual events definitely brings more value to your brand and more exposure. And so while you're building your business, if you're starting it with your spouse, definitely know that there are definitely key things you need to have in building that. And one is really having an event, whether it's virtual or live. Having an event is so important because one, it makes you get out of your comfort zone if you're not a person of hosting. you are now you are your business, you are your brand, and so you need to get used to that. Okay. So if you guys have any questions for me about the topic, hey, if you have any questions for me about the topic, definitely please put in the comments, post video. I definitely go back and answer questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe and press the bell notification so you can get the notification when a new video drops. I hope you guys are having a great evening, and please stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.